Finally, consider the following use case. Do you know Animate CSS? This is a nice little library of animations you can use. So here you basically get some animations you can use out of the box by simply attaching some CSS classes to your elements. And if we visit the GitHub page, we can see a detailed, explanation on how it works. So I want to use it here. I'll grab the link from the CDN here and then go into my index.html file where I want to attach it in my head here, like this. So now I got my CDN import here attached. And then if we have a look, we can see that we can use any animation from this package by adding the animated class and then the name of the animation we want to use to an element. Now I want to use such an animation when adding my element. The problem we have, of course, is let's say I want to animate this newly added transition here, which initially appears. The problem we have is whatever name we specify here, Vue.js will always use this name and then the enter, interactive, and so on classes. Now, for this package, this will not work because we need to add the animated class and then let's say the bounce class if we wanted to use that. So how could we tell Vue.js to use different classes than the ones it uses by default? Well, with some extra attributes we can set up on the transition element here. I'll show you which ones. On this transition element, we already set up name and appear, but we can configure it even more. We can override the default classes Vue.js attaches. So if we set up name like fade here, it would add fade enter and so on, but we don't have to use these classes. Instead, I can remove name here and explicitly tell Vue.js which class to attach at which point of time. So we can tell it the enter class here. By adding this attribute, we could say, well, the default is always vEnter, or if we set up a name, our name enter, we could add any class we want to attach here. Now, I don't want to attach a class here because I don't need to. I'm interested in the interactive class. So I want to override this. And here I want to attach the animated class. This is the one I always need to attach to play animation with this framework or with this library. And then here I want to use the bounce animation. So I will also add bounce here. And this should already be enough to animate it in with this bounce animation. Now we can also override, of course, the leaf class. I don't need a specific class here which is set for this one frame, but I do need a specific class for the active case, so when it is playing the animation. Here I want to, well, let's pick a different one maybe, not bounce. Let's say here we want to use shake. So I will add shake here. And now with that, I'm telling Vue.js, don't use your default, don't use vEnter active class, don't use my name active or my name active interactive class and so on. Instead, use these classes here at these points of time. Now for these empty classes here, we need to remove them, otherwise we will get an error because Vue.js would try to attach something which isn't there. I just wanted to show you that you have all these 4 configuration items at your hand, but of course you don't need to use them. And if you don't use them, don't set them up to be empty here. So with this change, let's view our application by reloading. And there you see it's playing the animation we wanted it to play, jumping and bouncing around. One thing to keep in mind here though is it looks like when setting up your own classes here, appear does not work with them. So that looks like it only works when used with the default way or the default classes. Maybe something which will get fixed but didn't work at the point of time I recorded this video though.